Women of Reddit, what things do men do that frighten you without them even realizing it? Happened few times. I was working late in small market with no one around, and when they come in and ask me if I'm not scared to be alone. Well, now I am, thanks. Guy on a bus, I like your shoes, they must be hard to run in. Me, completely lying, nope, I run in them all the time. Wanting to take me somewhere isolated to be just the two of us on the first date. It's okay if we've been hanging out for a while, but not if it's the first time I see you in person. Whenever this happens, I come up with an excuse not to go. I just don't feel safe since I barely know the other person, but the worst part is when they try so hard to convince me to go with them. This makes me feel more and more uncomfortable. LOL, one dude wanted to take me out sailing on his boat as a first date. I explained I wouldn't be very comfortable with that, and he offered to bring his male friend along. No, that really doesn't make it better. I don't know why you're acting so cautious. If I wanted to kill you, I would have already done it. Said to me by a friend of a friend I was meeting because it was his first time in a foreign country. I don't know why you're so nervous. It's not like I'm going to rape you. If I wanted to do that, there's nothing you could do to stop me anyways. The thought hadn't crossed my mind until you brought it up unprovoked. 4 times. Not taking no for an answer. Especially when they pretend to be jokey about it, but you can clearly tell they're kind of pissed, if that makes sense. I was walking through downtown DC on the way to pick up my son from daycare, and had a guy stop me on the street to ask me for directions to museums. This isn't uncommon since I work in a touristy area, so I kindly answered his questions and was planning on keeping going, but he persisted. Him, oh, you must be a local. I just moved here from New York. Do you want to get coffee? Me, haha, no, thanks though, I'm not really social. Him, well, you're laughing and smiling, you could have fooled me. Me, no, thanks, I'm just awkward. I gotta go pick up my son now, thanks, bye. Him, while you have a son? How old is he? Do you live in the neighborhood? Let's get a drink. Me, haha, really, thanks, I'm gonna go now, the museums are that way, have a good day. And it is just uncomfortable that, like, me trying to be helpful and friendly to someone who was looking for directions turns into him not just once but twice persisting on asking me out. It's the kind of thing that makes me not want to be helpful to strangers because I don't know if you're asking me for real or if you're just trying to hit on me. Not going away when I have made it abundantly clear that I am not interested. Sitting right next to me when I don't know you and there are plenty of other seats available. Some guy did this to me on a late-night tram once even though the entire compartment was empty. It seemed sketchy enough for me to get up, push past him and get off the tram, which was a great decision because I later found out that that dude had flashed and sexually harassed a lot of girls on that line before. Physical intimidation. Standing too close to me or backing me into a corner and making me feel trapped. It puts me on the defensive so fast. Edit. I know some men do this intentionally, but many do it unintentionally. Often men don't realize just how uncomfortable or intimidated they can make women feel with their behavior and body language. I learned this in a body language leadership class. This is tactic bad bosses supervisors will use to bully employees, standing between the employee and the exit, causing people to feel trapped and like they have to agree to get free. I am sure if people start thinking about workplace interactions, this behavior will be quickly recognized as toxic. Not accepting no or anything you explicitly outline to them. Also, demanding an explanation for that rejection. A guy I'm seeing took me out to a baseball game for our first date. It was nice, I didn't get any weird vibes from him at all. After the game, he asked if I wanted to go see some of the spots he likes to go walking. I didn't think much about it until we got there, and I realized he was basically taking me to the woods in the dark. He told me to follow him, and I'm thinking I'm about to get killed, but it turns out he just wanted to show me his favorite place to go on walks and chill because you can see the entire city from there, and at night it looks really pretty. He took me to a couple more trails that night, and I ended up having a great time and forgot that it's pitch black outside and I'm with a guy I've never gone out with before out in nature. Definitely thought I was going to get killed at first though. I'm a guy and following someone into the woods like that would scare the hell out of me. You're scared? How do you think I feel? I have to walk back alone. Someone saying, "Where's my hug?" or otherwise trying to imply that they are owed physical contact. Pick me up. I'm short and have a slight build. It's not that I'm scared of them trying to prove how strong they are, I'm just terrified of being dropped. I used to pick up people like that, obviously, if I knew them well. I am a pretty tall guy, 197 centimeters, but I stopped doing that because a taller person picked me up once, and it wasn't fun. This is just how the tall people hierarchy works. You are the biggest, baddest bitch till a taller person shows up and calls you small. Being overly familiar with me, in a situation I cannot leave. I used to ride the bus home from work, and my schedule very little. This led to me getting on the same bus at 10:20 at night, at the same stop every night. A man who rode the bus the same times, the same nights, took this as me wanting to be his friend. He immediately started asking me super personal questions, the highlights. You must live around here because you always get off the bus after me. Who are you texting? I wish I could text you. Who do you live with? You must work at X because you always walk from over there. This is after me telling him I didn't want to talk, and that I didn't want to go out with him. Ugh. Rare happy ending exception. I saw a guy interrupt a strange woman to ask where she lived and what route she took. She naturally looked terrified and gave a vague answer. He looked mildly unimpressed by her vagueness, then told her where he lived, then over several minutes gave an efficiency report for every method of transport and route combination he had ever used to get home. By the time he got to the 9th one, she realized he was autistic and changed the subject to bicycles. Also, if we're making out for the first time and they do something aggressive, like pinning your arms over your head then holding both wrists with one hand, leaving their other hand free. It can be hot as fuck, but if I don't know you that well there's a terrifying moment I wonder what I'm in for. I'm a guy, but I've been told by women that me raising my voice has been very frightening triggering. For me the real bombshell was finding out that it was affecting people even if it was done out of excitement, not just anger. Standing too close. How do you know if it's too close? I'll back up half a step, don't match it. Joking about rape. Just makes me think you have rape on the brain. I met a couple dudes at a bar who invited me and my friend to a party they were headed to. We were trying to find a polite way to turn them down when one said, "Don't worry, we're not going to rape you." Ha ha! We turned him down flat, and not kindly. Thankfully we were next to the bouncer, and his friend said, "Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?" My question too. I was once on a date, and we went to watch the sunset on a hilltop. A police car came by and checked on us. We told him we were on a date, no big deal. Cop actually joked that if I were his date, he'd already have raped me in the back of the car and wouldn't be sitting up front looking at a sunset. He kept lingering around too, it was so gross. My date got his badge number, and we reported him. I walk and today a guy on motorcycle pulled up on me 3x. I mean dude, if I don't want to engage then don't follow, continue to pull over to meet me or whatever. When men try to show off their dominance over you or anyone really, like when you mention something to a guy about another guy and he goes, "I'll kill anyone who talks to you." It's quite frightening really. Blatantly taking your picture, with their phone, in public. Do they think we don't notice? Even worse when their aim is clearly directed below your neckline. Once I was in a train, window seat, and I saw on the glass reflection that the guy in front of me was trying to take a selfie and include me in the frame. I kept moving in my seat and saw him continue trying to get me in the photo. I decided to change seats. This one may be intentional, but it gives me the absolute creeps when men try to squeeze past me and lightly put their hands on me, especially my waist. I hate it. Just say, "Excuse me." Going to the bar to get you a drink without you there to watch the bartender pour it. If I don't know you well, I won't accept a drink from your hands. Ever. Straight from the bartender to me. Fuck me. I just had a crazy realization. About 4 years ago, I was at a bar with a bunch of friends. Everyone there was really close, with the exception of a woman who was new to our friend group. I worked at the bar, and so I had a really good relationship with the staff. I went to the bar and ordered 6 pints, and brought them on a tray from the bar to our table myself. The new girl asked me to taste her beer for her and tell her what it tasted like. We were all fairly tipsy and I didn't think anything of it. It's fairly common at a bar to give out taster pours and all that. I took a sip without hesitation, And she just nodded and said thank you and grabbed it before I explained what it tasted like. I was a little confused and have been wondering what it was all about until now. Edit. I feel that it is important to say this is not a foolproof way of determining whether your drink has been spiked. An experienced or smart predator will have a tolerance built up for the drug, or have an antidote on hand. I need to stress that this is not a foolproof tactic. Best idea is to have full accountability of the drink from the bartender's hand to yours, and to maintain 100% accountability of that glass at all times. Do not break the chain of custody. When the bartender hands it to you, you keep an eye on it. If you ever leave it, it's over. Even to a friend. Don't risk it. Now you know. Unfortunately, while most men are good human beings, it's hard to put your faith in the idea that the person you're around is one of those good people. Especially after things happen to you. I want to trust people more, but it's hard. Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about some of the things being posted here, as a man. Like, I have never been worried about somebody knocking me out with drugs and raping me in an alleyway. That would be absolutely fucking insane, and I can't imagine what it must feel like to actually have to run through that mindset in public, and to keep that guard up all the time must be exhausting. I was involved in combat in the military, and when I came back, I was constantly on alert in public. I can sort of relate to the feeling of having to watch your back at all times, but I cannot imagine having to literally key up every time I left my house. That shit would be terrible. Like, I got over my issues because I wasn't getting shot at anymore. Women must feel like there are snipers everywhere just waiting for a clean shot. What else do men do that scares women? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.